What up? It's Aaron Moses, and I got this video request. Lays all the haze. He's been a bang a little while, and I wanted to put this request through and make this video. So the best psychedelic experience ever. Out of all the millions of times that I've done acid, the one time that I've done shrooms, and the three times that I've done DMT, of course, the best experience had to be, drum roll, acid, definitely. Now, because acid is such a fucking powerful ass drug, and it lasts for hours and hours and hours and hours, eventually there had to be some point of my trip that wasn't all that great, but overall, it probably had to be my best psychedelic experience, probably had to be the first time that I did acid with my cousin out of probably the three times that I did it with him. So we had this potent ass acid. And of course, the other two times I only took one, but this particular time I took two. One was the equivalent of 3 hits, and I took two, so that means I did 5 hits. I'm just playing 6 hits, right? So we went to the store. I was tripping out. The shit kicked in fast, fast. The shit kicked in like 20 minutes, and I start feeling the symptoms in about probably 10 to 15. Right. So I mean, we were walking around the park, and I was doing this with my arms, and everything was looking all crazy and shit. But the best part, I mean, besides the music and the environment, and they were playing some trippy ass fucking video game, I was smoking a square, right? And I was staring at my hand, and I was like looking at it, you know. And then I just kept zooming in because on acid, bro, you're like, it's not like coke, but you are like God. Like, you can control the temperature. If you eat, you'll just eat and eat and eat and eat, and I don't know where the fuck it goes. You can control the time, what you see, all those things. So I was just looking at my hand, and I was thinking, what is this made out of? Like, what are the answers to the universe? I can find it in my hand, right? And I just kept looking at it closer and closer, and I started concentrating on it more and more, and it just got bigger and bigger. And then my hands start glowing, right? My hands start glowing, and then I was like, what the fuck? And I kept looking closer, and it's not like I'm physically putting my hand closer to my face, but it was like probably right here. And I was like slumped over on the floor and shit, not like heroin lean, but I was like sitting Indian style, and I was like slumped over looking at my hand. And then I just started seeing all these numbers in my hand, and I was like, what the fuck? And then the shit started glowing gold and white and shit, and I was like, what the fuck? And I kept looking and looking, and I was like, bro, I just saw the code of the universe, like the Fibonacci sequence, and I described it, and he was like, that's fucking crazy. But we kept playing music, and then we've been trying to get weed at this point for like probably 3 hours or some shit. And then my cousin's friend went upstairs for some shit. He said we can leave whenever we wanted. And I was like, bro, fuck this shit. And I looked at his bong. I was like, I'm just gonna scrape this shit. And he had a little roach in there like that big, and it was grimy on my part. But I was like, bro, we've been looking for weed this whole motherfucking time. So I'm just about to smoke this shit. I don't know what kind of fucking weed that was, cause it was so little, and I didn't even. At that point, I probably didn't smoke weed for like a couple months. So I hit the weed, and I just started. I just had this orgasmic sensation go all over my body. Plus, I probably was drinking Jack that day, and I was just. I felt really, really good. Then we walked back to my cousin's crib, and the fucked up part is my cousin has a ghost in his basement. My cousin definitely has a ghost in his basement. And I was just laying there, and this ghost was telling me that I should fucking kill myself and just giving me all this negativity. And I was talking back to it like, bro, come on, relax, bro. But I mean, besides that, I woke up. I probably slept for like 10 hours though, and I was hella hungry. I felt really, I felt real heavy. I felt real heavy, and my skin was like, it felt real sensitive. It felt like if I scratched myself, I would just bleed, like a light scratch. That's what it felt like, and didn't really hurt per se, but I just felt real heavy. I felt heavy but lightheaded at the same time. I think it's because I was eating so much and I was drinking, and then I smoked that weed at the very end, which is probably why I slept for so goddamn long. But I mean, the other times when I took, that was probably like 10 hits. I had the liquid shit because I was hanging out with the fucking dealer and they had the shit in the syringe. And I was drinking Jack with them, high off smoking weed. And then I was on Coke that day too. And they gave me this little, they squirted the fucking liquid out the syringe in my mouth. And I was like, bro, I'm about to be high as shit. But I think I can make it home on my own. Now, mind you, this shit didn't kick in. He told me it was gonna kick in for like an hour and a half. That shit didn't kick in for like 2 hours. So of course I went home, just not really thinking about it, still drinking my Jack or whatever. And then after that, the shit kicked in, and I was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time, and I just started. I was just talking to her. She was like, "What? You're not even making any sense, bro. What are you talking about?" And then I hung up on her because she started talking all stupid to me and shit. Then I started listening to 3 6 Mafia. I was dancing in the motherfucking, in the front yard, in the grass and shit, and spinning in circles. And I was looking at the stars, and I laid down, start fucking, I climbed a tree and shit. And then this one song came on, and then they sampled Black Sabbath, I believe. God is Dead. I don't know what the actual song's called, but that's what they said in the hook. And it's this one part. It's off of it's off the first, the Mafia 6. It wasn't 3 6 Mafia. It was actually the Mafia 6, that first mixtape. And I was just going fucking crazy. I'm surprised nobody called the police on me. I was fucking rapping all that. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was spinning. I broke my goddamn belt. Went in the house. And then, of course, my girlfriend, I got like fucking 7, maybe like 10 missed calls from this bitch. And then, she was just talking shit. And of course, I started slipping into a bad trip. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this bitch. And I started watching porn. And, of course, I jacked off. But then, look, right when I busted the nut, the DMT from my pineal gland dripped. And you can feel it because it kind of feels like your brain, like a teardrop's coming out of your brain. And that shit, and I fucking like heard it, and I had this sensation, the same as DMT, that same fucking sensation, the same sensation as DMT. And then the whole world just got fucking, and I just felt this. I saw this white light, and it was fucking sparkles everywhere, silver sparkles, and then my spine started fucking curling up and shit, and then I just couldn't feel anything. And that shit lasted for like a good 2 minutes. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And I went outside and smoked a square, and the fucking smoke was pink. And I just felt like I felt like fire. You know, I felt like I was like wavy. Like my body felt real wavy. And everything was all pink and fucking purple and silver and white. And I went to sleep the next day. I felt normal when I woke back up. That shit doesn't do that shit to you. I mean, shrooms, that was a shitty. When I woke up, I felt like shit. That first time I did acid with my cousin, I woke up and I felt weird. I've never really come down off acid because it lasts too goddamn long, and then I just go to sleep. The time I did acid on Molly, that was fucking when I woke up. That shit was shitty. Um, That was that was a great experience. That one was a good ass experience, and I was at a party, and it was the weirdest fucking party I ever goddamn been to. It was it was my cousin's people's graduation party, and it was Molly, acid, bottles, beer, and of course I had my own drink and shit. I think I had some Henny or some Bombay, and I did the acid. When the acid kicked in, I did the Molly. It was this bad bitch all on me, but her friend, she was on hella Molly. She was on Molly and coke. This bitch took her fucking clothes off and literally sucked like three. I was just sitting there. It was a look. It was a couch to my. I was sitting. It was a couch in front of me, and it was a couch on my left, to my left, with three dudes and her on it. And to my right, it was the exit to the basement. Behind me was the bottles and the TV with the speakers and shit. And I was sitting like this, and the girl was sitting in front of me, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And she was covering her mouth and looking. I was like, "What?" And I looked over. This bitch is butt ass naked, sitting on some dick, sucking one dick to her left, jerking off another dude to the right. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I got up and I looked at her, and I looked at her tits, and I, of course, I'm fucking high. I mean, I rubbed her tits, and I fucking grabbed it like this, and I was like, "Do you like that?" It was weird. It was weird. I'm not gonna lie. And then I was like, "Look, let's just go outside. Let's forget about this." I'm thinking, you can suck my dick. She probably got you fucking wet as hell. And then she was like, "No, I have to be here for my friend. I need to make sure she's all right." And I was like, "Bro, my cousin's here. So fucking nope, nobody's gonna do shit to her, motherfucking ass." And then eventually I got her to come outside and smoke a square. We came back. This bitch got she was sucking dick, sucking. She was like hopping couch to couch, sucking dick. And my cousin's sitting there asleep. I was like, "What the fuck? How are you asleep right now?" And then her friend went outside with two other dudes, fucked one dude and fucked another dude in the alley. And we were just there. I was sitting there smoking squares, tripping balls, rolling out this Molly, and I felt so, I felt like I was in fucking purgatory or some shit. Like I wasn't up, I wasn't down. Like a part of me was pulling up, a part of me was like grounded, and it felt like my body was like my soul was trying to like rip out of my body or some shit. It was weird as hell. But anyways, man, that's it. I don't even know why I told you that story. But it's motherfucking Moses, man. I'm the bang, you the bang, and then the whole. Oh wait, there's another part, bro. So we came back in the house, and this bitch is still with the shits. So she's fucking another dude on the couch. And I'm sitting in the same spot, but my back was to that couch that she just sucked the dick on. Her friend was sitting in front of me again, and it's this dude. It's the dude sitting behind her, fucking recording this shit, looking up like this, recording this shit, and I looked at him like, "Bro, what the fuck?" And I stood up to go back outside to fucking finish my square and shit. And she was like, "Hey, can I hit that cigarette?" And I was like, "Can you hit my cigarette?" "Sure. You just did all of that. I'm sure you need a motherfucking cigarette." And she's fucking sitting on this dude's dick. Stop. And then she tried to give it back to me, and I'm looking at this fucking the saliva around it, and I was like, "You just sucked like 10 dicks right now. You can have it, bro." And she was like, "Thanks," and then went back, and I was like, "This fucking bitch just fucking finessed me out of square." And I went outside to smoke another square, grabbed the beer out the keg and shit, out the keg, out the cooler and shit. And the rest of that night was pretty fuzzy. I remember her friend didn't want to smash because I grabbed her friends, the one that was sucking on the dicks. I grabbed her titties, and I was like super hard, and I was like, "You should just come, you should just suck my dick right now. I'm so hard off my Molly, I will fuck the shit out you right now." And she was like, "I don't know, I don't really know you like that." And I was like, "You don't know? Does your friend know all those dudes she just fucked on there? All right, come on, let's get it." And she was like, "No," and I was like, come on, look, I got all this PC. Look at all this PC. And I put the shit on because I'm fucking rolling off Molly's horny as shit. So I grabbed the PC on my fingers and I put it on her lips and she was like, what was that? And I was like, ooh, you nasty. And then she was just smiling and shit, and I was like, you're a nasty little bitch. I don't even want to fuck now. But that did, it turned me on a little bit, a lot actually. But that's it, man. I don't even need to tell you the rest of that story. You already know what happened. But I'm the bang, you the all of that other stuff too. Alright, peace.